Okay, well, we finished our tour around the building and they've brought us back to here, but there's just a couple of things that we need to clear up. So we brought Gary back with us. Now, Gary, what sort of server platform do you have here? Is it the sort of things that our readers would recognize?
Yeah, I think they would. So in the traditional managed hosting servers that we deploy for customers, more the dedicated, mainly based on the Intel, so about 75% is the Intel chip. And the beauty of with the traditional managed hosting that we can link that up onto the cloud as well through our Rack Connect, that it gives them the ability to pick and choose which part of their solution best suited toward the dedicated hosting and burst, for instance, into the cloud when they need to add capacity and just turn it on and off as they need. And actually, as you get more sophisticated, you can even automate that through scripting on APIs. So I think we've got a very effective solution here for customers.
A lot of people will see this and the servers look more or less the same as they do anywhere else in any data centers. What's different about what you do?
So I think it is different. It's partly because we specialize in it. So everything that we do at the data center, that's our bread and butter. And very much it's about we're looking constantly for ways to improve, get more efficient with the use of the systems we deploy, the electrical distribution, the cooling. So to give you an example, that part of the work we're doing at the minute, we're looking to actually increase the temperature that's cooling the servers as a means to get more efficient with the use of power. Power costs keep going up. We need to make sure that we're getting more efficient so we can remain competitive with our costs for our customers. And even at a cabinet level, if you were looking at the cabinets themselves, all of those cables look very neat. It's not just because we want to be neat. Every cable's got a purpose. It's color coded. So using like the 5S techniques to make sure that it's obvious to all of our guys that whenever they're working on it, what the purpose is, and to avoid any accidental disruption to our customers. So just constantly looking for that improvement.
So this place is about 3 years old now. What's changed in those 3 years? Because it's difficult to stay state of the art, isn't it?
It is. I mean, the technology is moving on significantly. You know, from every year really, people are looking for ways to really market their products, and mainly efficiency driven at the minute. So a lot of the things we've been looking at is really around the power distribution, of taking away some of the elements that actually have become that aren't necessary anymore. So I'll give you an insight into an area, for instance, that we would traditionally put in like an isolation transformer at a PDU level to get rid of harmonics from the servers going to the UPS. New server technology, the risk of that's gone away. The harmonics aren't now impacting a lot of modern day UPSs can cope with that. And that gives us an extra 1.5% that we were losing in distribution. So we're constantly looking for all of those little areas where we can get better.
With these little 1% and 1.5% that you could gain, does this mean that all hosting is basically the same?
No, I think that because that with providers like ourselves, we're working at such a mass scale, we get a lot more efficient with the bigger UPS systems, with the way that we distribute power around the building, even our cooling systems. So if you were doing this on a server closet, for instance, you just could not get as efficient as we can, because we are able to operate at that higher scale. And we actually, you know, we're bringing in some of the best designers to actually help us to improve the facilities and keep getting better.
And how much do you rely on what the hardware manufacturers and the networking providers, what they're producing as technology? How closely do you work with them?
We are in constant conversation with them, because it obviously has a major impact as to what we can do. And probably some of what's happened over the years is a good insight. I'm sure many of your readers are well aware of the power consumption of servers kept going up. And because of the voice of providers like ourselves, we were pushing back and saying, we've got to get better, more efficient. And now technology is moving on, and the amount of power that's being consumed for the amount of compute is getting significantly better.
One thing that a lot of our readers say when they object to, especially when they object to moving to the cloud, is that they say that their data centers are more secure, are more reliable than outsourcing that. They don't have confidence in people like you. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I'd say that they should come and speak to us, and we can hopefully try and reassure them that that's certainly not the case. A facility like this is audited on an annual basis to be compliant against, a good best practice on security. So for any of the employees to get into this building, 2 forms of authentication to get in here. Customers can't get into the data center floor. So literally they can just come to certain parts of the data center so they can get an impression of what it is we do. All of our people that are on the floor, it's only, even the people that get onto our records that can get onto the DC floor, it's only those that need to get on there for their jobs. So not anyone come from our other office and get into there. So it's what we do, it's what we're specializing in. So I think that we're always looking at all aspects of the way the network's connected to the internet, what customers, how they're utilizing it, and making sure that they're not putting each other at risk.
One thing that we've been hearing about recently is the Open Compute initiative. You're part of that.
That's correct.
What do you get out of that? What is it as well?
Well, I mean, obviously, you've probably linked the two with the OpenStack and the Open Compute. We're very much behind the open source approach. The main reason that we really support that is that we believe that the industry needs to evolve, and we're very much about sharing, rather than just using specific, people spending a lot of time and effort to generate intellectual property around design. We believe that it should be shared, that for everybody to be able to consume, help make data centers more efficient. Really, why we do that? Rackspace is about fanatical support. Where our unique selling point is the support, the rackers that are actually helping to support the customers, not really in developing intellectual property around the data center.
So things like, so we've got the OpenStack, which is basically, that's a cloud operating system basically, isn't it?
Correct,
yeah, it's being developed in a
community where many developers are collaborating to help evolve the cloud product so that others can come along and just take it, consume it, whether that's they develop their own private cloud or use our public cloud. And where we think it's really powerful is when the two come together. They can consume part of it as a private cloud, then connect to us for consuming some of it on the public side of it, using us for some of their burst capabilities.
So one of the things you're involved with is OpenStack, which is basically a cloud operating system, isn't it?
That's correct, yes. So the real driver, or the reason that we started participating in OpenStack is that we wanted to offer our cloud operating system to the community because we believed that there was a lot of demand for overcome some of the vendor lock-in. So we put it out there so that there's over 60 plus organizations now participating, well-known brands like Dell, Microsoft, Intel, and just helping to really drive forward a cloud solution that customers can then take either as a private cloud to install themselves, or even use our public cloud to meet their needs.
Reg readers often complain about when it comes to the cloud, and one of the things that stops them committing to it is the idea of a vendor lock-in. So what you're doing with OpenStack, that's attempting to do something about that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So we decided to partner with NASA to offer our cloud files and cloud server code base along with our Nebulous code base to create along with a community of over 60 companies that getting involved with the likes of Dell, Microsoft, Intel, of trying to create this code base that it's open to everyone to use, whether that be as a private cloud solution or with our public cloud, so that you can see they'll be using the same cloud base, so they can develop for one, knowing that they can consume on either to suit their individual needs.
Okay, Gary, thank you very much. I'm going to have to give my creds, aren't I? Because you're going to need me out of the building now.
Yeah, it's about time. About time to go now.
Okay, thanks.